What's up everyone, Will here with the Commander Duo, coming at you with a exciting deck profile today on a fully altered Metroid deck we have, featuring Samus Aran the Bounty Hunter as Tetsuo the Imperial Champion. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time, ever since I saw Tetsuo, but for anybody who's built Tetsuo, you know it's pretty challenging because of his main two effects, but I thought this would be a perfect commander to represent Samus. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of talk about everything, the build, how the deck works, and then we're just going to get into it. So starting off here, we have when Tetsuo attacks, if it's equipped, you get to choose one ability. First ability lets us deal damage equal to the highest mana value among equipment attached to any target. So what this means is if you have like a 2-drop equipment, it's going to ping for 2 damage. The thing that's crazy about this though is the fact that Tetsuo is dealing the damage, so if you don't already know, that means whatever is equipped to Tetsuo, or Samus in this instance, deals damage from Tetsuo directly. So if it has Death Touch, the damage that's dealt is Death Touch. Lifelink, Infect, whatever keyword it is, that's how it works. You can also just hit a player directly, so if you have Infect on it, it can hit them for Infect. It can be pretty gross. The second ability though lets you cast instant or sorceries with mana value X or less than or equal to the CMC of the artifact that's attached. So this lets us bring in small drops, bigger drops, depending on how you do your build, but it also lets us play cards like Profane Tutor and Inevitable Betrayal, things where they have that suspend, but it lets you cast it immediately without having to suspend, and it's a 0-drop essentially, so you just have to have anything equipped to get those up, and I think that's amazing. But yeah, with this build here, I found it tough to build, especially because I just built it without playtesting, but I think it turned out really great. I tried to mix sorcery instants and artifacts. It's so hard because you want to go one way, you want to go the other, you want to go both, but I think I balanced it out in a good way, where it doesn't feel clunky. And I've played a few times with friends and it has performed really well. And on top of that, I've also altered extra cards. So I have a 1v1 version of the deck and a free-for-all version of the deck. So I will show you guys both versions. And yeah, one thing I'm gonna do a little bit different is normally I just talk about each card, but I'm gonna just put some amazing Metroid tracks behind it and let you guys just take everything in, and then we'll talk about it at the end. So yeah, we're gonna get started. Guys, we're moving on now to the basically like the sideboard in a sense. This is where we swap our stuff out for more of the like 1v1 stuff. And also I want to show that I did this gold gilded foil on all of the cards and they turned out amazing. When you like shuffle them, it looks so good, especially when you look at it from a larger amount of the deck. But yeah, they turned out beautiful. Only really worth doing if you're gonna run clear sleeves though. But without further ado, let me show you guys some of the extra stuff I made as well. And so this is again tuned for 1v1, so we're gonna actually run some counter spells here, starting with the Force of Will. We got our Mana Drain. Dark Samus looking like Frieza when when they destroyed Planet Vegeta from DBZ. Dreadbore. Infernal Grasp. Got Terminate. Again, a lot of single target removal. Bedevil. Dark Ritual. Then there's a couple extra lands, just different lands in here, extra ones. So we got Crumbling Necropolis. Then since this build runs a heavier sorcery instant package, I put in Galazeth Prismari as Ceres X. So I know it's a little covered, but when it enters, you create a treasure token, and then artifacts tap for mana. So all your equipment can tap for mana to spend on instant and sorcery, so crazy good card, and it's a flyer. So we can load it with equipment if we absolutely have to. Then we have the Sword of Hearth and Home, gets us extra mana and lets us blink a creature. We got the Sword of Once and Future for recasting Sorcerer's Instant. Since we have so much more, it would be good in the 1v1 version of the deck. Sword of Feast and Famine, giving our opponents discards and letting us untap so we have mana for our instants to play in their turn. So it would be an amazing card. Got the Gravity Suit, awesome artwork. I mean, you could main deck this, but you'll get a lot of hate from people. Then we got the Plasma Beam as the Sword of the Animus, again just for extra mana. We're trying to outpace our opponent. Mana Vault, getting stuff out real quick. And then a Sunken Hollow, just another alternate land. And yeah, other than that, I also have a custom-made construct for the Urza and the Urza Saga that are in the main deck, so I thought that was pretty cool. Goes well with the Raven Beak. But yeah, I really hope you guys liked the video. This was a very passion project for me. I spent a lot of time on this. I just want to give special thanks to all the artists. Some of them I weren't able to locate, and some of them when I was pulling art, I just couldn't re-find the art again to go back and look for the artists. I'm going to include links to artists and their names, or at least just their names in the description, just because especially this one too, since this is my commander. So I'm going to try to include as much of that as possible. Honestly, without amazing talented artists, we couldn't make these fun altered proxy decks, and we're only limited by the art essentially. So I have to give thanks to the amazing artists. There's a few artists that make up a lot of these prints in here, and yeah, I'm just so impressed by the work they did in bringing Metroid to life through the art. And yeah, I will also have a deck list for Moxfield. I'll do the 1v1 version and I'll do the free-for-all version. As for budget goes, feel free with any of the dual lands, shock lands, fetch lands. If you're on a budget and you want to make this deck, you absolutely can. You can add some more basics and then just some, just some cheaper lands. Really, it'll still be a good fun deck. Remember, it is kind of like Voltron. It really relies on your commander. So if your commander is getting bullied out of the game, it can be pretty rough sometimes, but very fun deck so far. And I think it's the perfect commander for Samus. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. Oh, you probably thought this video was done. Not quite. What we're going to be doing here is a little bit of trivia for all of you that stay tuned till the end. The first person to put in the comments the correct answers to my questions is going to win a full playset of all these lands. The 4 swamps, the 4 mountains, and the 4 islands. And I will ship them out free of charge to your address. Whoever wins, all you need to do is private message the email that'll be in the description or through Discord, and I will get these to you. So the first question is, who designed and created Samus's famous armor suit? And you can just put it in the comments below. The answer to that again in the comments below. And last, you must name all 3 of these characters and also include them. So question, who made the battle suit that Samus wears? Who is this interesting character? Who is this interesting character? And who is this interesting character? If you have all 4 of the answers, the first person that comments it will win the playset of the lands.